ISIS-affiliated smuggling network are at large in America.
This is from NBC News. They are now openly admitting that, yeah, if you have an open border, that perhaps some bad guys, ISIS bad guys, might walk their way through it.
Tonight, NBC News has learned more than 50 migrants with potential ties to an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network are at large in America. Many illegally crossed the border and were released into the U.S. by Border Patrol because there was no information suggesting terror ties at the time. Now, their whereabouts are unknown as immigration agents look to arrest them, U.S. officials tell us, saying they're among a group of over 400 migrants DHS identified in the U.S. from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Moldova, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, and Russia as subjects of concern because they were brought to the U.S. by an ISIS-affiliated smuggling network, something the FBI director warned about earlier this year.
Some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about.
ICE has located and arrested over 150 of the 400 migrants so far, with some already deported from the U.S., officials say, adding authorities are not panicking because their ties to ISIS are not certain, but they're prioritizing their arrest out of an abundance of caution.
The problem is the volume of people coming across the southern border. Individuals from ISIS and other affiliated groups have recognized it as a weak point in our defense, and they're using this opportunity to try to sneak in.
NBC News was first to report on a similar arrest of an Uzbek man in Baltimore, whose country alerted the U.S. he was affiliated with ISIS. That man, like the others apprehended so far, was arrested on immigration charges, not terrorism-related charges. ISIS-K has claimed responsibility for deadly terror attacks in Russia and Iran in the past year. And recently, the DHS Inspector General sharply criticizing vetting at the U.S. southern border, saying DHS is at risk of admitting dangerous persons into the country or enabling asylum seekers who may pose significant threats to public safety and national security to continue to reside in the United States. Two senior law enforcement officials told NBC News they are not tracking a terror plot from this group of migrants, but their arrest on immigration charges come out of an abundance of caution.
Doc, I think that clip right there illustrates the concern of your audience members because if we are going to let in, say, 7 to 10 million people in 3 years, 3+ years, which is what we've done, some of them are going to have bad intentions.
Well, we would be totally narcissistic and naive to believe, one, that some of them don't have bad intentions, and two, that we know who all of these people are and where they are. In 2023, we had thousands and thousands of Chinese nationals come across the border, particularly down south of San Diego. Mm-hmm. And many of them were military-age men. And I've seen some of these, and let me tell you, Dave, these guys, they've all got the same haircuts. They've all got very similar backpacks. They've all got very similar combat boots on. They're all in really good shape. I mean, these guys look like they've just come out of basic training. And
where are the women? Where are the children? Where are the grandmas?
And how did they get here? Look, you don't just wake up in China and say, hey, I think I'll go to the United States. It costs a lot of money. You've got to get out of China. They're being sent. They're not just going off on a lark and saying, I think I'll go to Disney World or something. It's not easy to get here. And when you've got thousands, tens of thousands of people that could very well have a bad agenda, and they get into the country and spread out, the worst case scenario is if we've got 4,000 or 5,000 people in maybe 20 different states within the United States that all of a sudden make a coordinated attack on our energy grids, man, we could be back in a real third world country sort of scenario overnight. And we have no idea who these people are or where they are. And to me, that is criminal negligence that we have allowed these people to come in, and we don't know where they are, and we don't know what they're doing, and we don't know what their agenda is.
Hey, Don't click away.